Yes, ma'am. We did till then.
Okay. So today we have to start with the next topic, which is performance of Indian economy during economic reform. Okay. So we are going to compare it. So here, this is 1980 to 1991, and this is 14 to 15. So it's 3.6, it is 0.2. 7.1, it is 5.9. It is 6.7, it is 10.3. It is 5.6, and it is 7.2. So basically, what is happening? Agriculture is being declined. Okay. Industry is also being declined. Service sector, it increased. And coming to GDP, it was 5.6 earlier, but now it increased. Okay. So this is the scenario. Okay. So now, first of all, we will write performance because of economic reform. What was the effect on growth and employment? Okay. So in economics, the growth of an economy is measured by GDP, of course. So the growth of GDP increased from 5.6% during 1982-1991 to 8.2% during 2007 to 2012. Okay. So this is the data you can say from here to here. Okay, though the GDP growth rate has increased in the reform period, it has not generated sufficient employment opportunity in the country. Though you can see the growth rate was increased, but still it does not included other sufficient employment opportunity in the country. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next was effect on growth and agriculture. Okay, so during the reform period, the growth of agriculture has declined. The reason are as follows. So first, fall in public investment agriculture sector. So growth agriculture, you have seen that it has declined, right? We can compare it. Earlier it was 3.6, but now it is 0 minus 0.2. So it has declined. And what was the reason for the decline in agriculture? Because of economic reform. Okay, so first, fall in investment, public investment in agriculture sector. So public investment in agriculture sector, especially in infrastructure, which include irrigation, power, roads, etc., has fallen in the reform period. So nobody was investing. Public means government was not investing in agriculture sector. So because of that, like there was no investment, and somewhere this agriculture sector came down. Second, removal of fertilizer subsidies. Earlier government was, when we discussed the second chapter, right, 90, there we discussed that government was providing the seeds as well as the fertilizer subsidies, right? But now it was removed. After new economic reform, it was removed. So when the fertilizer were removed, of course the cost of production increased. Earlier, for example, you were getting the reform for 50 rupees, now you are getting it for 100 rupees. So it increased. Because of this, like small farmer and the marginal farmer, they didn't produce anything, and that's why the growth of agriculture came down. Next, increase international competition. Agriculture sector has been experiencing a number of policy changes, such as reduction in import duties of agriculture product, removal of minimum support price, and lifting of quantitative restrictions on agriculture products. These have adversely affected Indian farmers, as they now have to face increased international competition. So earlier there was no globalization, so everybody was competing with the home country itself, right? But now they have to make everything in a very good way. They have to spend their money in a very good way to produce very high quality of everything, because now they are going to compete with the foreign compare. So somewhere, for example, I went for the competition. Okay, there I didn't get success. So what I will do, I will leave that passion. So similarly, because of increased international competition, they were unable to compete. So some of the people left the agriculture sector. So because of that also, agriculture sector came down, declined. Next, export oriented policy established in the agriculture. So now what is happening? Because of export oriented, now what government was telling that you are not going to export the thing, you are not going to use the things for yourself, you are going to export. That means you are going to sell your crops. So because of export oriented policies in agriculture, there has been shifted for production for domestic market toward production for the export market, focusing on cash crops. In lieu means instead of production of food grain. So you are not going to sell food grains, you are going to sell cash crops, right? So government was forcing people to produce cash crops, not the food grains. And because of this, high prices of food grains increases, and some people were not comfortable in producing this cash crop, so they left this, and somewhere because of this also agriculture sector came down. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what you will write? You will write performance of Indian economy during economic reform, and then this effect on growth, the entire paragraph you will write. Okay, you have to remember somewhere in around figure, you have to remember the data for this. Okay.
Okay, ma'am. Also, for the other ones, could you shorten them a bit? So, because I have to
Yeah,
study
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
this
Yes,
in a
yes, yes.
short time.
I'll short it. Don't worry.
Okay. Done, ma'am.
Okay. Now next, you are going to write hashtag effect on growth and agriculture. Okay, so you will write growth of agriculture has declined. Okay, okay, and then you will write fall in public investment in agriculture. Okay, then you will write which includes irrigation, power roads. Okay, has fallen in the reform period. Okay,
Okay.
and the second one, removal of fertilizer subsidies. The removal of fertilizer removal of fertilizer. Okay, what you're going to write, removal of fertilizer subsidies, and you are going to write removal of fertilizer subsidies has led to increase in cost of production, which has severely affected the small, and you have to write this entire thing. Okay.
Okay.
Done, ma'am.
Okay, Janab is also here. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Okay. Now, the third one, increase international competition. Okay. So, what you will write, because of agriculture sector has been experiencing a number of policy changes such as reduction in import duties on agriculture product and removal of minimum support price and lifting of quantitative restrictions on agriculture product. Okay, this also you have to write entire thing, because sometimes they ask you, because of increased international competition, how agriculture sector was affected. So at that time you should have a good answer. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Amos, you have your exam tomorrow, is tomorrow, right? Not
Yes,
this,
ma'am.
some other. Okay, okay. I'll just leave you 5 to 10 minutes before. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay. Ma'am, should I write the fourth point also?
I'll tell you. For 4 point, you have to write export-oriented policy strategies in agriculture. So because of export-oriented policy, there has been shift for production for domestic market toward the production of export, focusing on this. Okay, yeah, you have to write the entire thing. Okay, we cannot.
Okay, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Done, ma'am.
Okay, good. Now we are going to write effect on industrial growth. So we talked about agriculture, now industrial. Okay. So in India, so what happens basically, industrial growth has recorded a slowdown and the reasons are following. So first, see, over here, first reason is decreasing demand of industrial product, and second is non-access to developed countries market. So these are the reasons. But sometimes you get a question like this: why there was decreased demand of agriculture product? So because of two reasons. Okay. So industrial sector has developed due to availability of cheaper imports at lower investment. So what you will write: decreased demand of industrial product, and reasons of this were this: A and B. A, availability of cheaper imports. So for example, this is your economy, right? Over here, this is the product which you are producing in your country, and this is the product which others are producing. The price is 1 rupees, and for example 10 rupees, and the price is 2 rupees of this. So what people will prefer? People will prefer this one, right? So globalization has created condition for free movement of goods and services from foreign countries. Cheaper imports have replaced the demand for domestic product. Domestic manufacturers are facing competition from imports. Thus globalization adversely affect. So till here you have to write. Okay. So because of globalization, everyone is linked. It is very easy to import things, and because of this, what is happening? Because of imports, domestic manufacturer are facing the competition from the importers. Now if they are selling it for 10 rupees or they are selling it for cheaper one, so everyone will purchase cheaper one. They won't be thinking that okay, this is the Indian made or this is the homemade thing, like country made thing. No, they will go for the cheaper product. And second is lower investment. The infrastructure facility include power supply have remained inadequate due to lack of investment. So basically what happens, there is lower investment in the sector. Okay, so if it has lower investment, so that means quality of your product won't be good, right? So because of this, people will be purchasing the other product, not the domestic product, because the quality is not so good. So these are the two reasons why there is no demand for the industrial product within the country. Second, why industrial growth rate was low? Because there was no demand of industrial product. And why there was no demand? Because of these two reasons. And second was non-access to developed country market. So developing countries like India still do not have the access to developed countries market because of high tariff barrier. Okay. So see, there are a lot many companies that developed countries. They, see, because of globalization, it was like WTO also made a thing that anyone can to import export, but there are developed countries who have put a restriction that okay, we will be allowing these and these countries to import with us to import their product, but we won't be allowing this and this. So there was in the developed market, you cannot go and you cannot sell your product. So because of this also, if you cannot sell, so why people will invest in industrial sector? They will do some other work, right? If you cannot, if you are producing something and you cannot sell it in developed countries, then why will you produce things? So because of this also, there was low development, decline development in the industrial growth. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so you will write hashtag effects on industrial growth. Then you will write industrial growth has recorded a slowdown because of following reasons. First, this, and the reasons are this. Till here you have to write, and then first and second part. Clear?
Yes, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Janab, you are also done. Okay, so let's just start. Next is effect on growth in service sector. So we have one more thing, service sector. So with the industrial, so what you will write the growth of service sector has gone up. This indicates that the growth is mainly driven from growth in service sector. So just write this. The growth of service sector has gone up. In 2014-15, service sector witnessed the highest ever growth rate of 10.3%. Here.
Yes, ma'am. Clear. Done, ma'am.
Okay. Now, next is effect on foreign investment and foreign exchange reserve. Okay, so the foreign investment, which include foreign direct investment and foreign institutional investment, has increased from US $100 million in 1990 to 1991 to US 36 billions in 2016 and 17. Okay, and there has been increase in foreign exchange reserve from this to this in 2014 and 15. India is one of the largest foreign exchange reserve holder in the world. So what you will write from here, it has increased. Okay, instead of writing everything, you can, it has increased from this to this. There has been increase in, okay, it has increased from this and this to this and this. There has been increase foreign exchange reserve from this and this to this and this. India, okay, you can write it down. Okay, from here, it has increased.
Okay, ma'am. Done, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, the last one, disinvestment, then I'll just let you go. Okay. So then is disinvestment. Every year the government fixes a target for disinvestment of PSU, because now you are going to convert PSU into private sector. So there you have to do the disinvestment. Okay. So for instance, 1991, it was targeted to mobilize 2,500 crore through disinvestment. The government was able to mobilize 3,040 crore, more than the target. Okay. In 14 and 15, the target was 56 crore, whereas the achievement was 4,500. So you can see earlier it was able to mobilize more, but now it was able to mobilize less. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So last one, then I'll just leave. Someone is here.